racist?
The American people want solutions in Congress. They want people to oppose certain policies for the right reasons.
Do you think your Republican colleagues are racist?
Not all of them, no, of course not. But to a significant extent, the Republican base does have elements that are animated by racism.
Welcome back to Newsmax TV, the Steve Molesberg Show. I'm Ed Berliner along with Diane Diamond sitting in today. Thank you so much for joining us, Diane. A pleasure to have you on board as well.
Pleased to be here. Thanks.
There is no doubt that that statement itself has created quite a furor, not only in Washington, D.C., but across the nation as well, basically saying that a lot of Republicans are racist. Joining us right now to answer this and a whole lot of other questions as we talk about the race issue again in American politics. She is the president and co-founder of the Tea Party Patriots. We welcome Jenny Beth Martin of the Steve Molesberg Show. Jenny, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Jenny, there you go. It's flat out right there. Your reaction.
You know, what's so amazing to me that we've learned in the Tea Party movement over the last 5 years is when we're hitting the target and we're talking about the issues and the solutions that the American people care about, like $17 trillion in debt, $50,000 a household, we know we have to do something about it. There are people in the opposition who malign us, call us names, have used a race card. They do that to distract and divide Americans rather than facing the fact that there are issues that must be addressed.
Would you not admit, though, that there have been some side comments that have been made, there have been some minor issues, there have been minor things that have been said that would make people believe that the Republicans, if not a preponderance, but certainly some of them are racist, and maybe the Republicans need to be a little more judicious sometimes in what they say, knowing that every single phrase is being dissected every single day?
Every phrase is being dissected by what everybody does, and there are people on either side of any issue at all times that do and say the wrong thing. And if we see that it's happening, we call it out. It doesn't matter what party it's happening from. But the fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is, we have to address the issues at hand. Our country is $17 trillion in debt. We are seeing Congress continue to raise the debt ceiling, not address the issues and find solutions to them. And at Tea Party Patriots, we're looking for solutions, not looking for name calling.
You know, Jenny, it seems in this country that when we look at all the problems, the debt, the poverty level, the unemployment, the immigration mess, you lump it all together, and if you want to make a complaint about it, then you are necessarily racist. When in the world did we become so, if I can say it this way, black and white? If you lodge a little bit of criticism, then you're a racist.
I don't know at which point that happened in the country, and what I honestly would say is that I don't think that most Americans actually judge things in these terms. We are looking for solutions. Americans want personal freedom. They want economic freedom, and we all want a debt-free future for our country. And so we're looking for solutions at Tea Party Patriots. We love freedom, and we're looking for people to join us who love freedom and want to make sure we teach Washington, D.C. how to cherish freedom as well.
Okay, now you've used the word solutions several times, and I realize, of course, you're not sitting here to make policy today, but at least give the audience an idea of what your organization thinks one or two of the most salient and absolutely can do, possible to do solutions right now.
Well, take the penny plan. It is simply spending 1 penny less out of every dollar Washington, D.C. spends. And if we would do that, we can balance the budget within 5 years, start paying down the nation's debt, and have a surplus again. That's a simple solution. It's something that Americans can agree on, and it's a way to address the debt problem.
Part of this discussion certainly has to go down to what Attorney General Eric Holder has recently said, not only in front of Congress, but while he was side by side with a questionable individual in Al Sharpton, comments that he made about a race card being played. I wanted you to listen to something that Charles Krauthammer said about Eric Holder, basically, in essence, calling him a world-class whiner.
Charlie Rangel, Charles' favorite for the day, he also talked about this and said that the president and those who oppose him, you're making a mistake if you don't think there are some ulterior motives. He then talked about the Tea Party. He said they always have Confederate flags, and he knows what they're about. Charles.
Let me just say that I would endorse what Kirsten is saying about his whining. And when you consider that Attorney General Mitchell went to jail and his president had to resign and Clinton was impeached, I think that this brings Holder up to the level of world-class whiner.
Jenny, is he whining?
Well, he's whining and he's calling names and he's trying to distract people from what's going on in our country right now. We're not going to be distracted. They can call us names all they want. They're wrong. We know they're wrong. They know they're wrong. And we are going to continue focusing on what the American people care about.
Jenny, do you feel a little bit like the lone voice in the wilderness here? Because, you know, there are a lot of the electorate that eat this stuff up. Yeah, let's go back a little bit. Eric Holder said what he said about Congress being unfair to him because they held him in contempt of court because he wouldn't answer questions about the gun running fast and furious. I mean, this is what attorney generals have to do, but the context of these things doesn't seem to get out to the public. Is it the media's fault?
It is. We're in a situation today. I don't look to blame the media. What I look to do is to find ways to get the facts out to people. And we've got social media, so we can work around that today. And we've got networks like yours, so we can work around that. You said, do I feel like the lone wolf? I don't feel like the lone wolf at all. There are millions of people across this country who care about the things that Tea Party Patriots cares about. They're involved with Tea Party Patriots, or they're involved in their own local level with a freedom-loving group, whatever group that may be. We're not alone. We are the majority of Americans, and I don't feel alone at all. And I get my strength and my inspiration from the millions of people I meet in my travels around this country.
Jenny, let's go ahead and pivot here to another issue, too. Kathleen Sebelius recently resigned her position with the Obama administration, making everybody wonder what it takes to get fired from the Obama administration these days, but that's another story altogether. But the thing that caught me was where she basically said on the Sunday talk shows that our timeline was wrong. We got it wrong for Obamacare. We knew it. But when you hear those words, does that come up as sort of vindication, not only to the Tea Party, but certainly to Republicans general, saying, we told you so, and we knew it, and now you're admitting it?
Well, we knew it, and she's admitting it, and that's, I suppose we can be glad about that. The fact of the matter is we still have Obamacare. Millions and millions of people across this country lost their health insurance. They are now trying to figure out what kind of health insurance they currently have, whether their doctors are still in the plans, they're losing their quality care, and their prices have gone up. There's no vindication for that. We have got to address that. The law must be repealed, and we have to replace it with free market solutions.
You know, another one of the scandals on the horizon, and I call it a scandal because that's exactly what I think it is the IRS and Lois Lerner. I think this week, members of Congress in the House, two different committees, are going to vote to probably recommend that the Department of Justice look into what her IRS division did to groups like yours. Can you tell us if you had any problems with the IRS?
Oh, at Tea Party Patriots, we've had many problems. It took over 3 years for us to get our determination for our 501c3 and C4 tax status, and we only got it the day before I appeared before Congress to testify about the IRS, and that was a verbal confirmation, not even a letter at that point. So we've been a victim of this targeting. We want to see the IRS held accountable, and ultimately what we think needs to happen as a solution for this is for the entire 16th Amendment in the tax code to be repealed. It's 73,000 pages long right now. When people go to file their taxes, they don't even know if they're obeying the law or not because it's so complicated. It must be replaced with a fixed, flat, fair system that Americans know is simple and that they are obeying the law when they file their taxes.
Boy, that's music to my ears. I've been wanting a flat tax for a long time. Is that what you advocate, a flat tax?
A flat tax, a fair tax, either one. Either one is better than what we have now. I've seen in the last 2 decades that I've been involved as a volunteer and then within Tea Party Patriots, people argue about that, and the tax code has grown and grown and grown. It's time to address the fact that we have a problem and it needs to be solved. Either solution is better than where we are now. It just needs to be fixed so it can't grow so far out of control again.
Jenny Beth Martin, the Tea Party Patriots, thank you so much for joining us. I have a feeling that this discussion is, again, like so many others, going to go on for a long time, and I certainly hope you get past April 15th very safely.
Thank you.
Let's just say that. Thank you very much. It's now that we're sitting here, and it's, with all the things that we're looking at here, Diane, and we've looked at today, it's just astounding that we continue to get so much of the story not being told.
Well, and the administration complaining so vociferously that, well, we can't get it done, we can't get it done. They've had 5-6 years already. When do they get it done? It can't be that the GOP is standing in their way on all these problems.
It can be. It certainly is, if that's what you think it is, of course. That they are
Leadership is getting around that, right?
Leadership is getting away. It's another whole conversation. We can go off on another run all there. That'll take a long time to come. She's Diane Diamond. I'm Ed Berliner. This is the Steve Malzberg Show. Sitting in today. When we come back, the panel looks at this issue, the IRS, Sebelius, and a whole lot more, right here on Newsmax TV.